that they won't be eligible for a federal program to combat drug trafficking and gang crime unless they cooperate with immigration agents. Joining me now, former sheriff of Pinal County, Arizona, Paul Babu, Green Card Warrior, author, and Foundation for Liberty and American Greatness founder Nick Adams, and back with us, political analyst Gina Loudon, a member of the Donald J. Trump for President Inc. Advisory Board. Sheriff, I'm going to start with you. You know, when I heard this originally, I thought they were going to knock out all kinds of federal support. In fact, this is only one specific program whose funding will be denied to these locations. Is Sessions going far enough?
It'll come in time. It's already been telegraphed, announced. The president has said it. Jeff Sessions, as the AG, has announced that this is sending a message, not just to these 4 communities, and there's some argument whether they're already in compliance or not, but to the 200 plus that are out there that do not cooperate with ICE officials and do not cooperate with the feds, to say, hey, look, if you want federal funding from Homeland Security, from the Department of Justice at a time when money's scarce and budgets have been cut for law enforcement, then you need to comply. You need to be good partners. And at the end of the day, it's in your interest. It helps keep your community, your families that you're sworn to protect, safe.
I should mention here, San Bernardino is saying they are not a sanctuary city and should not be on this list. I mentioned that as an aside.
Yes.
But Nick, to you, how much crime is due to illegal immigrants?
Well, look, I think we really need to look at the big picture here, Jerry. And the reality is that sanctuary cities are an insult to legal immigrants like me, who spent lots and lots of money and took lots and lots of time to go through the processes that are required to become a legal immigrant. I think it's really important that this message be sent. I think that what the Attorney General did today is very welcome. I think that the Sheriff's right, that these are words that are going to be heard well beyond just the 4 cities that he singled out. I think there is a lot of crime, Jerry, that is down to illegal immigration, and we need to fix it because we need to put Americans first and make sure that our people are safe.
Well, let's talk about what it is Sessions wants. What does the government want? They want access to jails in these localities and across the country. They want notification when they are releasing inmates wanted on immigration violation. They want a sharing of information, and I can imagine, Gina, that the left out there is saying, oh my gosh, this is a horrible, bad thing. Do you agree with them?
Of course not. I live on a border city, as you know, Jerry, and I fought to help people like Nick get here who can be contributing citizens. And this is an affront to people who have fought for solid immigration policy. But this is the greatest affront because we know the greatest crime occurs on the legal immigrant populations that are already here. I just think this is a time where, you know, the building skills are important, the negotiation skills of this administration are important, but this is where you pull on your parent skills and you go, I have 1,000 petulant children out there, and I'm going to have to make an example of a couple of them to get the rest of them to listen.
Sheriff, one of the cases that Sessions described that I thought was horrifying, in fact, was a case where somebody had been deported 20 times and then finally arrested by authorities for sexually assaulting an elderly woman in Portland. This is just the kind of horrific story that you hope never happens and actually does. He says that not closing the loopholes here, not doing the hard work, is endangering the nation's enforcement officers because they have to go back into those communities time and again to extract these people. Tell me your view.
It does. I'm in full agreement because I've lived it. As a sheriff for 8 years and having hundreds of law enforcement officers that I work with and have led, this occurs throughout the country. We've arrested one illegal who had been deported 22 times.
Wow.
So people shouldn't be scratching their head wondering why this went on. Is because there was no enforcement. There were no consequences. Those days have ended, and now there are consequences that if you're here illegally, especially if you've committed other crimes while you're here in this country, you're going to have a target rightfully on your back. And all of us in law enforcement should work with our federal partners. Shouldn't even be an argument here. We should identify these people, arrest them, and have them deported, never to return here in the United States again. These crimes in the tens of thousands have occurred. They've released convicted criminals illegals who are convicted of murder, of sexual assault, of molestation, of armed robbery, all these crimes, and they never sent them back to their country, and they just let them roam in our communities. And what do you think that does to the criminal mind? There's no boundaries. They can get away with anything. We couldn't even have deported them. We couldn't even get that right.
Sheriff, well said. Nick and Gina, thanks to all. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.